Hello, this is Dirty Stupid Wisdom, and I'm Ben Keaton. You know, I've been recording several of these episodes, and it strikes me that I'm taking it for granted that you know what you're letting yourself in for. Dirty Stupid Wisdom is a combination of philosophy, life experience, and jokes. That's the level of depth. This episode is really about acting, and I think that the only people who might enjoy hearing about how actors act is probably other actors. Therefore, I've put in some sex at the beginning, which I hope will sustain you. Watching, Not Drowning, by Ben Keaton. So the conversation went like this. Okay, then, well, I'll take you in my arms and start kissing you on your neck, and then I guess I'll move on from there and build it, I suppose. Yeah? Yeah, sure, she says. I've always found that women are way more casual about sex than men. Well, than me, anyway. I tend to get apprehensive if it's sex in front of people, you know, an audience. So this is happening at 8:15 in a film studio in Pinewood. It's a music video shoot, and I've been paired up with a woman I met 15 minutes ago who I am to snog as we move in the background of a shot behind the singer. This was a long time ago, before intimacy directors, and way before I started to smell of something fermenting. The choreographer gave us our position, told us where to move to, and that we should be kissing. The rest was left to us. This is exactly how my acting career was to continue. You meet total strangers earlier than you would normally wake up, and before the tea break, you will have experienced a moment of intimacy that a normal relationship might take months to arrive at. Actors make themselves available to the director. That word covers a lot of ground in our world. Consent is implicit, and vulnerability is a resource. Like that time I was asked to walk down an alley and jump out of the way of a car coming from behind me. Oh, and to flap my coat as I jumped because it looks great on camera. The key bit of information here is the car is coming from behind you. You know, from the place where your eyes aren't. Back to Pinewood. We have been kissing and walking now for 2 hours. My lips are swollen, and I think I may have permanently damaged my hip. It's not that she's heavy, but carrying someone at your side while leaning in to snog them is unusual. Additionally, I'm marginally aroused. Now, not in any way that would cause alarm, but part of my brain is telling me that this is definitely on. It's the stupid part of a man's brain. Luckily, my professionalism is in charge, supported by the searing pain in my hip. We wrap 5 hours later. I'm still aroused and vaguely hopeful. She says, "Nice to meet you," and leaves. I am eternally grateful. The single bombs. The video is never released. I am eternally grateful. I'm not an actor. I'm not trained. I didn't go to RADA or Lambda or Panda or anywhere where they have a curriculum. I pick up who I want to study with and build my education as my interest dictates. I went from studying mime because of the influence of David Bowie to being swept up in the alternative comedy revolution of the mid-'80s, and then on to improvisation before the big jump into legitimate theatre, TV and film. Study combined with experience and returns to more study, and what results is a unique training. I suppose I must have been 5 or 6, kneeling on a rug in front of our black and white TV in Dublin, watching an item on the ballet dancer Dame Margot Fontaine. She was performing Swan Lake. I remember her sitting with one leg in front of her, her arms stretched above her head. She bent over gracefully till her forehead touched her knee. The commentator said, "She doesn't just dance the swan, she is the swan." I remember thinking, well, of course she's a bloody swan. What else would she be? It seemed such a stupid thing to say. I remember it clearly because pretending was something I never considered. So I don't act. I'm the thing that I portray. I'm it. For the time of the production, the play, the film, the series, I'm it. Or at least I was, until being these other people became too overwhelming to sustain. I would slip under the skin of a character and live there until the production ended and the bubble burst. It would start when the audition script arrived. That's like looking in through a window. You get a glimpse of the world. It's a dark room with little definition. You might not particularly care about it at this stage, but it calls to you because it's not this world of cruelty and responsibility. It's another place. A place that you will make home if the opportunity arises. Then, if I got the part, the door would open and between us, the director, cast, designers, composer, production team, and crew, we would build the world together. It's a truly astonishing thing. It literally grows around the cast. Not just the understanding of the world, but the actual physicality of it in terms of set and costume. Later, when I was playing leads, I was looked to as elemental in the creation. The production would grow in beauty and complexity until the opening night, and then would need to be sustained throughout the run. It felt like living in a soap bubble, something beautiful and fragile as that. I'd find myself with friends, or shopping or driving, and delight in this invisible atmosphere that surrounded me. I would think to myself, I am Cyrano de Bergerac, now, drinking coffee in Cafe Nero, and I'm the only one who knows it. Tonight I get to fall in love and say the most beautiful words and feel the intensity of every moment. I get to be hurt and hopeful and heroic and fight my foes with a sword and die after a speech of heartbreaking poignancy. Even though, right now, I need to eat this toasted cheese and ham ciabatta before it goes cold. That bubble protected me from the real world. It set me apart, and I loved every moment of it. I'm not a fan of reality. I don't want to be accountable. Accountability can go fuck itself. I do this. I create. I make. I build worlds. I use tricks of tone and intonation and practiced emotion to conjure people no one has ever met before, places no one has ever been before. And all I need is your attention, because soon that bubble will surround you too. That's what storytelling is. Be it theater or TV or film, it's about creating a fragile bubble that will burst sooner than you want it to. Now, some people in the know will say that my type of acting is called the method. That was originated by Konstantin Stanislavski, the Russian practitioner, but I had no knowledge of him till well after I got established as an actor. To me, being the swan was obvious. And it did not involve being an arsehole, because that's what the character would do. Having said that, I wasn't immune to change. My family had to put up with Lovely Dad when I played Elwood P. Dowd in the play Harvey. They spent 3 years with Groucho Marx, wisecracking 24/7 during Animal Crackers. Then there was Sweary Dad during David Mamet's American Buffalo, Anal Dad during The Odd Couple. It was a bumpy ride for my family. They saw me change in shape and tone and color. You know the settings on a TV that go from natural to cinematic to rich? That was their experience, being with me over those years. There were other qualities to suffer. Self-doubting dad when I was unemployed. and depressed Dad when the burden was beyond me. Performance took over my life. The price was significant. Getting lost in a character is a highly addictive drug, and the more demanding the emotional journey, the more endorphins kick in. There's a poker term I often refer to in acting. All in. It means to risk everything. All your chips are on the table. You walk away with everything or nothing. That level of commitment is understood by an audience. For the actor, it's the ultimate ride. It broke me in the end. I knew it would from the outset. I knew I couldn't sustain that life of transformation. I saw myself as a firework, the ticket that you had to buy, the performance that had to be witnessed. Bright, intense, gone. It was exhausting. After a play had finished, I'd wait month after month for the next job, trying desperately to hold on to that dream of acting, waiting for the next bubble. It was really awful. One night I found myself on Waterloo Bridge, and in a wild moment, I saw myself run through the traffic and dive over the rail into the Thames. I could feel the exhilaration of that run, that jump. It was such a beautiful thing in my head. The most beautiful arc from the path high into the air and away into darkness. The moment passed. I got a chance to reinvent. Now I write, direct, I run a charity. If you're an agile creative, you get to slip between different forms of expression. For me, the water flows. I'm still consumed by my work, but watching from the bridge, not drowning. I've had a message from the Bishop of Norfolk. It says, I suffer from chronic insomnia, but since your podcast launched, I can't stay awake. What a cunt. The Class of 25 by Ben Keaton. Jason, a little boy whose toes were made of jelly, played all day on the football pitch until his feet were smelly. Lisa was his sister, her nose lit up at night. All her teachers loved her because she was so bright. The Kumar twins were a happy bunch. They never were to part. They each possessed a miracle, a magnet for a heart. Archie was destructive. His nails were made of steel. He scratched his name on the bathroom door with wild, maniacal zeal. Betty put on Toby's clothes and never wore a dress. She took up boxing at the age of 9 and moved to Inverness. So where did all these children go when school was left behind? Let's take a look. Let's scout about and see what we can find. Jason, with delicious toes, plays for Chelsea and scores goals. Lisa guides the ships at night. Her nose is such a beacon that tankers avoid the rocks because sinking is not something they are seeking. The Kumar twins went their separate ways because sometimes hearts repel. It's hard to stay together. I'm sure we wish them well. Archie was sent to jail for opening a safe with his metal nail. He only stayed in one night because all the locks in jail were shite. Betty is now Bernard. He's married to Margarita. They made a mush of all their pronouns, and now life is sweeter. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, do leave me a comment. It would be fantastic. It's just great to get some kind of feedback. You can do that on the website, dirtystupidwisdom.com. And I think there are other possibilities in other places. Oh, look around. I can't hold your hand for all of these details. Anyway, see you next time